This is a typical Dervish turn. The game has been in progress for a couple of turns. The game usually lasts about 8 or 9 turns. This is a Dervish turn. The first thing you do each turn for a Dervish player is to check morale. Now, there's only one unit present on the table and it's got casualties, so it should take morale. Morale's basically a bunch of dice. Now, there's one for each casualty, 1 dice, 2 dice. There'll be more dice if it's poor, more dice if they're wounded, etc, etc. But there's only 2 dice to roll. 4, 5, 6 is bad news. I roll the 2 dice. They get no fails at all. If they'd have got 1 fail, they're stationary for the turn. 2 fails, they have to fall back. And 3 fails, they rout, but that's quite rare. And as I said, there's lots of modifiers. So I'll take the bodies off. Morale is done. And to reform the unit in the 2 ranks. There it is. That's morale. The next thing they do, the Dervish player has a set of 8 cards at the start of the game. He can play a card each turn. In fact, he must play a card each turn. Now, I'm going to play this card here. It's called Atrocity. And it says this. War correspondent sees Anglo-Egyptian infantry execute Dervish wounded. Shame. This can only be used if there has been fight in the game so far. Yes, there has. The Dervish adds a dice take 1 spot to his victory points. Now, before he does this, the British player can do a gamble. The gamble is 1d6. If he rolls a 1 or 2, things are even worse for the British. A 5 or 6, they get much better. I think I will gamble. So British player rolls a single dice and gets a 3. Well, 1 or 2 it would get worse. 5, 6 it gets better. 3 or 4 it stays as it is. So Dervish player gets a d6, take 1 spot. Oh, he can re-roll if he likes. So 3 take 1 is 2. So he gets 2 more victory points to the Dervish player. And that card's handed to the British player. When the British player has all 8 cards, he gives them back again. Some cards are trivial, some aren't very they're brilliant. That was a trivial card. Next thing we do is we choose a unit to do something with. This unit here of dervishes, I'm going to roll 1d6 for giving their action points. They've rolled a 3. Now, all manoeuvring costs about 1 point each. Change formation costs a point. Change direction costs a point. You must do all of that before you start moving. You can't move somewhere and then change formation when you get there. Now, with 3 points, could stay and engage the British, but I'm not sure that's a very good idea. So, here's what I think we'll do. We'll pay 1 point to turn around. The unit's turned around. That's 1 point. And every other point can be used for 4-inch movement. I'll move away 2 lots of 4 inches. That's 8 inches. All the way down there on the hope that the British won't chase them. The British have a mission. They don't be chasing all over the countryside. Now, if I'd had a lot more points, I would have moved them into the scenery. But scenery is quite hard to move into and tried to disappear. That Dervish unit is done. Now, this Dervish unit here is more interesting. They're hidden. Now, a hidden unit's divided into 2 halves. This half of the unit, unit number 3, they're in these 2 scenery pieces. If I want to appear, I can move these half to here and make them appear, or that half to there. I think I'm going to move this half to there. So, there's the half that was there. Here's the other half. But the problem is, I can't roll for action points so they actually commit to appearing. They've appeared. They might appear and get a useless roll. Anyway, let's roll for them anyway. They've rolled 6 points, piggies are 6. And because they're veterans, I've written veteran underneath, they get 1 more. They got 7 points. Wow. Now, if I want to fight the British, every 1 point is 4 inches of movement, but it takes 2 points to start a fight. Yes, okay. Now, because I'm not in their firing arc, the British will turn automatically, but because I'm not in their firing arc, they have to roll to get opportunity. So, I'll advance within 6 inches, which is about there. There it is. 6 inches is the trigger point. The British will automatically face But because they weren't facing them initially, instead of 4, 5, 6, they need to shoot on 5 or 6s. Now I know there is 6 bases there, but one's the officer. So 5 shooter bases. So you get 5 goes, getting 5 or 6s. Here they go. There's 1, 2 successes. So 2 of the bases will shoot now. Now when the British shoot, I'm going to choose these 2 bases here. Every base shoots with 3d6. I could have put 2 together and got 5, but I fancy my chance with 3. Dervishes get a basic 1 saving or reaction roll, 1 saving roll. They get more if they're in cover, they're not. They get more if they're at long range, no they're not. So, 4, 5, 6s. 1 success, against that Dervish gets to 4. It's cancelled out. 1 success, 1 save, there's no effect. The second base shoots with 2 successes, Dervish is on 1, 1. Beats him by 1, so that's a wound on that base, a wound. Now, they had 7 points there. I could stop and shoot, but I don't think it's worthwhile. Every 4 inches costs a point. They're 6 inches away, so I need 2 points of movement and 2 to make a fight. So, let's push them in. Now, the fight will take place. I won't go into that in detail. You want to see how the rest of the turn works, but that fight would take place, and whoever loses would take morale, etc. Now, also other units might do stuff. I think, example, I think this unit might appear as well, and it might appear here. Remember, I can't roll for the action points that's actually appeared. Now that's unit number 1. There's the rest of them over here. Once they've appeared, I can roll for action points. They've got 4 action points. Well, I think they're going to charge in as well, because it's 2 to make a fight. You have to wheel once. He just gets that away because he's a scout, and then he goes straight in. So they hit them as well, and there'd be another fight. But I'm not going to show the detail of a fight because that's on a separate video. Now, the last part of the turn is very important. This sheet here, there's the Dervish turn sequence. Now, Dervish has got 2 little tables he can use here. One of them he can roll and get mainly scenery, possibility of troops. The other one is mainly troops, possibility of scenery. I'm going to go for the scenery one and roll 2d6. Dervish has rolled 2d6, a 6 and a 4, total of 10. Now 10 on scenery says place a new Dervish unit. I wanted scenery, but it's at the extreme, so it's got a new unit. So I get a brand new unit and I can place it on the table. I just get that brand new unit. Here they are. A new unit must be deployed in scenery. Half and half. Well, I'm going to put half the unit here and the other half up here. There we go. Now basically that is the end of the Dervish turn. Though I can move a half if I wanted, but there's no halves left. No, so it's done. That's the end of Dervish turn. So each Dervish turn they'll play a card, do their morale, move units around, and then try and hide and move halves around like that. It's best for Dervishes to remain hidden until they fight and then disappear again. A stand-up fight against British infantry, they'll get shot to bits. And that's how Dervish turn works.